Hello, fellow academics, and welcome back to the colony of Hawkshaw. We're overlooking our little animals, and I'm just going to set our cattle to be trained so our cattle can start helping us with hauling things around. Because unfortunately, and it still breaks my heart in the last episode, 2 of our pets died, and even more unfortunately, one of it was our female dog that we had finally managed to train and, get to be a proper part of the colony. Right. That aside, it is 6 p.m. We have a couple more hours of working, and we're trying to get our settlers to be doing things a little bit more productive. Although that might not be quite possible, because, again, part of the issue is the amount of haulers that we really have. So we'll see how that goes. Now, having done all of that, I think what we really need is more miners, so we actually get more material and our people can, well, do their job a bit more properly. So Queneve is on construction duty if she is not cooking. Makes me think maybe mining is 8. Maybe we'll actually remove the construction and send her mining. She has the time. We do have one dedicated planter, harvester, botanist. So that is good. Audrey is mostly just mining away. And so is Arundel. I'm pretty sure at least. And Amika could be mining. Nah, I think it's fine. But maybe we'll remove the priority of constructing from Alan and set him up to mine as well. Just so we get a better amount of resources to work with. And we're also gonna go ahead and create a bit more areas to actually be mined, which I think will help us in the long run. Right, they've also put in the walls over here. So what we can do now is destroy these, hanging pieces of wood that don't serve any purpose anymore. So, yeah. However, we should figure out kind of our main thing to do. And now that I've sent Alan to do the mining, maybe it's time for him to actually up his archery skill. I know he was just praying, but he can actually go ahead and just construct that archery range. And again, his skill is, I guess it's only 10. So if we turn these into level 2, he can then start actually training. Also makes me think we need some goals to be constructed, practice targets, and we're gonna say until we have, actually 10 is not too bad. So they can definitely do that. We also need a little bit of space for them to store it. And I think the easiest way to do this is actually just right next to this area. Shouldn't need to be too long or too wide. So just a couple of wooden pieces and a rooftop. I'm gonna make it wicker, because I'm pretty sure we have a ton of it. And then we're gonna set the floor to be wicker as well. Same reason. There we go. Put it out in the front as well. That tree is a little bit in the way, but that will ultimately do. Alan is writing now. That is because we don't have anyone, I think, on a high priority to production target number reached. Why did you set it to 0? I swear I put it on 10. Any one of you knows what's going on with this? Please let me know, because I would just love to understand. Right. Once you're done drinking, you are actually going and constructing this. Pretty awesome. And we have more meat incoming. So I think our meat brewing station is starting to pay off. Because we already had, well, we do have rough wine. We have 2 piles of meat. And then another fermenting meat pile. And a fermenting fruit juice pile. Cool. So I think overall, we should be all right in terms of alcohol production. They've also kind of started to dig into the back here. Although not very far, but I guess that also because I've set them to mine a ton of different things. So, yeah, that's all right. All right. Oh, we also need to set this to be forever. Makes me wonder if we should leave it at just 1. But actually, I think 2 is fine. Let's also have a look into our melee practice. That can actually just go back here. And I think 1 will actually be enough. Look at him training. I forgot if every time they finish training, they gain another level. If it's connected like this. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Don't think he will finish it today, because it is basically nighttime. So he'll very likely just gonna go and sleep soon. There we go. Speaking of the devil, so to speak. All right. That area down here is actually pretty done. Which I think means we should... I guess we do still have some dirt piles here, but that shouldn't... probably not enough. So let's high prioritize hauling of all of this. And while we're at it, let's have a look into the resources. Animals, nope, none. What about the wildlife? What do we actually... Goater is still... Goater is out there? I thought we had slaughtered him. Sorry, Goater. Alright. I guess we'll take him back in. Let's sort this by animal. The bear is still running around. We have actually a couple of hares. Never tried to raise hares, but I think that could be quite nice. So let's see if we can't get both of them to be domesticated. 1 male hare, 1 female hare. They're both young, raising the chance of the success rate, which I think will be quite useful, because I don't want to spend too much time on that. Also make sure you should actually be going to seed. Guess I didn't do that last time. Going to seed as well here. And our barley is actually coming in, which means our hay stockpile should slowly be filling up. Excuse me. So, you shouldn't actually be sown anymore. Is that the right pens? I think so. Maybe we'll also stop you for now. Now you can still just grow. I love that we can now finally train our settlers to get better at fighting. It's such a useful skill to have. It's also... I don't know, you guys can't quite hear how loud this is with the dung piles and everything. Wait, until you have 1. Always want to make sure we have 1 shackle. I think another thing that a couple of things that we actually need to do. We need more gold, which means we need to keep digging for it, because the next bandits will come and then we have nothing to sell them at the moment. So let me actually just go ahead, quickly mine this out. There's a bit of silver, I think, back here. So we're going to take that as well. And there. All right. Good start. Good start. Although they are mining down here, which I guess is overall all right. Oh, that needs to be deconstructed as well. Amicia is actually the one constructing, and she is actually spending the majority of her time getting the limestones over there. So let's see if I high prioritize this, if our friendly dog, Eddie, won't actually be going after it, trying to bring it over. Why isn't our donkey actually doing anything? You're set to haul, right? Domestic, donkey. Unset you, back in, set you to haul again. Merchant is coming. Lone merchant, I guess. Not great, but it will do. Is that his wolf? Pet wolf? Probably. Right, anyways. The material is actually coming in over here, but I think I need to quickly pause 2 of these. So we still have an access route until that corner over there is completely done. Once that is in, we can think about putting maybe staircases in down here. Although we did say we're going to utilize that area for additional rooms. So we might just start digging it out once it is all in. In the meantime, that looks pretty tall. On average, also pretty, well, thick enough, I want to say. Let's have a look at Alan's archery skill. Still 10. How is it still 10, mate? Also, are you still carrying a short bow? No, you're carrying a long bow. It just looked pretty tiny on you. Right. Lavetta is the one with our best haggling skills, so let's have her talk to the merchant. We could get the wolf. We don't really need the wolf. We don't need cider. We don't need barley. Got all the seeds. We need nothing from him. I guess we could get the stick traps, but yeah, no real reason for us to do so. Let's go ahead and sell something to the guy so we can get the 6 gold pieces. Not that we necessarily need it, but I think it'll be nice to have. I actually have nothing to do at the moment with the beeswax. You know what? Here, take some extra. Yep, the rest will be a gift. That should hopefully... That did nothing, I guess. I was hoping that would raise our reputation with them, but guess I was wrong. Alright. That stuff down here is actually coming in quite nicely, which means we can move our animals into that corner here soon. And in order to do that, once I find it, here we go. We're going to give them a little bit more space, so to speak, and put the fencing over here. All right, this will become another corner piece. There we go. And technically, they're almost done here. I guess we still want to kind of wrap up everything over there before we close off that wall piece. They can finish the outside wall from the outside. Well, oh, that was genius of me to say. So we'll see how that goes. What is this? Fermenting meat pile. Oh, I guess we don't have a ton of space in here. Fermenting meat turned into meat. Maple sapling has decomposed. I guess second part not great, but also not too troublesome. I guess once it finishes the meat, it doesn't know where to put it, and then it just gets moved outside into the nearest open space. So I guess that is kind of a good message for us. We should go ahead and expand our fermentation area. I do want to leave a little bit of space over there so that our people can still walk on the outside here. Or maybe actually in the long run we'll also increase the size of our kitchen. But, you know, future worries, future worries. For now, that additional piece will help us out a ton. Now, all of this is regular limestone floor. And yes, in the long run, we will swap it out for, well, hopefully something more meaningful. Are you're training it's going. Oh, you're in now. Okay, look at that. How is this a longbow? That does not look like a longbow. And I think his shot quality is pretty good overall. Right. He's gained a level, so that's pretty awesome. So, like I said, we're getting there. Slowly, but steadily. Alright. You are on very high priority. Let's actually set up more of the limestones to be transported over. Whereas poor Amika is actually just going there, grabbing it, and then, yeah, grabbing less of it, so to speak, and then putting it into the walls where she thinks it needs to be. Okay. Not against that part. We do need to increase our defenses over here. There is only one wall thickness on the bottom there. So that definitely needs to change. Eddie is starting to bring in some limestone, which is pretty good. 45. Our donkey is doing something down there. Not entirely sure what he is doing. Let's follow him. Oh, limestones. Okay. So overall, not too bad. Nobody has time to go out and chop some trees. But I guess that's okay. I think with the limestone down here, Amika should have an easier time now constructing more of this. And as I say this, she goes praying. Cool. Also, like, look how much dung there is. Let's clean this up. Not that it is really a priority, but it is pretty loud when you zoom in. So I prefer cleaning it up. Alright. Once they're done here, I will actually stop with mining the area down here. And then they can go either over this way, or actually do some more mining over here. Or finally sort out the couple of blocks in the middle there. I know, Alan, you're training, but maybe we can just quickly fix this. Alright, there we go. One is in. Actually, that won't be quickly. That will actually take a while. Well, we can still do one of them. And I think I will actually remove these. Well, that's a cabbage field anyways. So we don't need them. And then we're gonna copy and paste some proper soil over there. And in order to keep this a little bit more contained, not that they can do that anytime soon, we'll put a gate over here. So this is a perfectly symmetric, not symmetric, equal side kind of deal over this way. Gonna still do it like that. A couple more gates than we actually need. and then fence this off. Bit more for aesthetic purposes rather than utilitarian. However, that I think should actually prevent the random spread of the bushes, and that should in turn keep our actually don't sow these anymore. We might remove them in the long run. What was I saying? I forgot. Right. Alan is going to train. Instead, I'm going to have him fill in that piece of soil there. And we can expand the zone. At least one of those corners is back in. All right. People were upset a little bit. That didn't last very long, which is good. More limestone, 200. Oh. It caught the ones back there. 46, much more realistic. Still set it on high priority, so they can actually bring it over there, in the hope that Amica will have an easier time in sorting this out. Alright. What else do we need to do? I think it is also time that we might turn. But if I put only one level here, this is only then one level above. So one ladder up and another ladder up, and they're up here, and which is basically inside our base. How are you doing overall with your marksman skill? 12. 12 is much better. Still gonna have him keep training, because I think it will be nice to have that done. I need to stop setting more and more stuff to be built. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Now we can add, not expand, copy the zone. A 2x2 layer of carrots in here. And once she is done with these, we're not sowing these anymore. They're still producing. Where did we actually put beets? Oh, we don't actually have any beets at the moment. Interesting. Where you going? Hungry. Come on. Let's wrap this one up. There we go. Expand the zone. And now we have a pretty good area for our farming ready to go. Now I want to make sure that we will actually be able to avoid having trees spawn in between there. And I am going to set this to be the limestone brick floor. Limestone brick. Limestone block floor, not brick floor. Which ultimately help with the speed along here. Right. We could actually block this up in the future. No particular rush on this though. And randomly you're continuing there. I guess that's, I'm gonna say you're continuing. You put one down, walk inside. What are you doing? Floors. I guess we need them, but do we need them that badly? I don't know about that. Anyways, this will be a really good spot actually back here. With the walls there gone, and then I think we're just gonna mine out these two pieces, which I'm already going to set up for them to do. And just to be on the safe side, placing a wooden beam in there. We can put both of our production facilities out here in the back, and then use that area here also along this part there as storage. Gonna leave that area then here empty, so nothing should ever get placed outside. At least I hope so. And then we should be doing it, or should be in a much better spot overall. Our head just decomposed. Why do we only have winter clothes in here? Dismantle items for clothing forever. If they are dirty quality or below, let's say 35% hit points. Right. So that should be the top priority always. Then we're gonna make winter clothes until we have 5 and summer clothes until we have 5 as well. I had actually unselected all of the leather. So I'm gonna do the same here. Let's focus on linen and wool. And we could actually create a couple of practice dummies until you have, I guess 10 is fine. Let's do 5. All right. And then, back the winter clothes. Didn't mean to remove that. Until you have 5. Edit, clear all, linen and wool. All right. We could create hats. I've never fully understood the utility of it yet. But I guess that is okay. I'm guessing. Arendelle, actually, once you are done. Oh. Yeah, prioritize the construction of this wall. Prioritize the construction of this wall. And then prioritize the construction of this wooden beam. Where is he actually running to? Oh, interesting. Let's go ahead and move all the wood basically in there as well. We have also now more limestone back here, another 50. Let's high prioritize these as well. This one is just floating in the air. Cool. Still gets decomposed because of the ground modifier. All right. You shouldn't be out here. But you never compose. Huh. Hopeful helpmate. Yes, I could use some help. Carpentry 24 and you like it. Awesome. And besides that, what else do we need? Not good at marksman, not good at melee. We really need some people that can actually, pull their weight when we get attacked. Regardless, we're gonna welcome him. Quick pause, because he needs a room to sleep in. And right now we don't have any additional rooms available. Now we could add, actually why not? Temporarily put in a bed here. Where are you? You're getting resources for construction, so just create the bed. And then we go into jobs, look at Wilhelm. Carpentry will be your highest priority now, which means I can actually remove that from Arendelle. And then second highest, I actually want you to help out with the mining. I could have him do research, but then again, I could also have Alan finally do some research. Although he is training. Yeah, but we need the material. We really need to get our defenses up and running. And considering we have a good amount of limestone sitting around here, what is Amica doing? Putting the bed in. She's doing what I told her to do. How dare she? There we go. You have a chamber. And Willem, it is yours. He's eligible to be a bard now. Okay, cool. What is your Speechcraft 9? Not bad. Crafting wood item. What are you actually creating? The targets. Alright. Not bad. Let's actually go into research. Can we... Nope, we can't do the fledgling. We could unlock more defensive structures or ice making. I don't think we need that really. Oil press could be good for defense purposes. But then siege engines would be really nice to have. Ooh, this is tough. Okay, maybe we'll not do anything. Maybe instead of mining, mate, I will actually have you do research. I don't think he's gonna like it in here. It's a pretty tiny chamber. Actually, we haven't fully utilized the space underneath the Great Hall and where our library is. Like above where our library is. Ah. We could easily extend over there and add a few more rooms in here. But in order to do that, we will need to create proper walls out here. Which means we also just need to build more, which, yeah, not happening. Let's actually have a look how he's feeling. The walls are closing in. To be expected. I guess I could move him in here, but then he doesn't get the bonus of sleeping in his own quarters. And this is just temporary, but he does actually lose happiness while sleeping. Right, future worries. How's actually the training of our kettle? That failed. Lavetta failed. Let's have a look. Is she actually the one who should be doing this? 16, 17, 20. 16 is pretty good though. She is the one doing actually quite a lot of the work with the gardening and harvesting. Quinny, what are you doing actually? It's the production of food. He's just making beer. Alright, that tells me you can't actually manage this anymore. Thing anymore. You can't manage this. Period. Audrey is doing that. Owen is doing that. Where is Quinny? I guess it is quite a bit to go down to the area where all the raw food is. We do have a pile of sticks here, which will definitely be good. I wish you could prioritize like the cooking parts over the beer making parts. Because yes, it's nice that she is making beer and everything, but I still would want her to first, you know, make the stuff that feeds people. Alright, 20. Let's go ahead and prioritize more production once you're done drinking. There we go. And then we have at least some food again, which will be quite useful. We also now have 7 people, so let's move this up to, let's actually go now to 30. I guess it's 7 people, so let's do 35. Just to be a little bit on the safer side. And you know what? With that, I'm going to call this an episode. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.